I just thought today I would tackle this mane. He's always got knots. I mean, it's a constant thing. And just because of how busy life has been, I've kind of let it get away from me. Um, so I put some nice kind of a detangler in it. This one is called Equus Survivor Super Detangler Shine. And it smells really nice too. So I have another one that I put together that I use conditioner and a detangler with water in a spray bottle. But I thought I'd give this one a shot to see if it works better. I gave him a hay bag, but he's not really interested. He's been having his breakfast, so they don't go hungry around here. So I'm kind of working this in, and then I'll take a comb or actually just start kind of helping to detangle it. So yeah, Billy. I have had Billy, well, since he was 2 years old. My daughter, it was the first time that we went to this place that we've got all of our horses have come from now. We had other horses, of course, that did not come from where we got these guys. But it's a farm or a ranch, I guess. I mean, they raise cattle too, so I guess, and hay and all that. So I guess it is a farm. But anyway, this lady raises Arabian horses, and she has a lot of them, and they are of the Egyptian line, and she breeds them for, well, purebreds, and then sometimes, I guess you could say, for color. And Billy is one of those products of that. His mom was a paint. I don't remember. I've seen her. She's gone now. She, got old and passed away. She was, I don't remember her having a lot of white on her. She might have had some white stockings, but that was a while ago. So Billy, when we went to, this was the very first time we went to that place, and we went with some friends who'd already bought horses from her. And they were, you need to go check these horses out. Really good-minded horses, good quality. And so the reason we went was my daughter had graduated high school, and she wanted to attend a college where you would bring a young unbroke horse, and then part of the college was you would break that horse to ride. And so we went there she wanted something specific. I think I probably swayed her a little bit to get Billy. But the first pin that the owner took us to was the 2-year-old stallion pin. There might have been some 3-year-olds in there, but basically they were all, not gelded. They were still stallions, including Billy. And when you go into the pen, these animals are horses are basically, I mean, they're handled, but not like, oh, halter broke, ready to, just put a halter on and walk with you. Billy, well, they gather around you, and you're surrounded by these horses. We just went into the corral, and they all come gather around you because they're very curious. Well, Billy was one of them, and eventually, they kind of get uninterested and they walk off. Billy never did. So then she wanted to go look at the fillies, so we went to another pen and looked at the fillies, and I kept saying, let's go back to the stallion pen. I love that Gruya, which is the color Billy is, which is not an Arabian color. It's in the Dun family, and which is sort of like the donkeys. The color of a donkey, and they have the dorsal stripe, which probably you can't see very well right now, and then black legs with tiger striping, and across the withers he's got the dark, just like a donkey. He's not quite as gray as the donkeys are. I know I'm talking, right? Who am I talking to? I gotta go grab something, so I'm gonna pause for just a second. I decided I need a little more, something I can soak this with a bit. Anyway, I don't even remember if there was any of the fillies that she was really, really like enthralled with. So we ended up back in the stallion pen, and she wanted to see him move. And so generally there, how you do that is they just go like that. And Billy wasn't very interested in moving, and he wanted to hang out with us. And it was just, I don't know, if you could say an animal or a horse chooses you, it seemed like he chose us. Gosh, I might have to let this sit for a while because it is really tight. You did a good job. Hold it, buddy. So we basically, she made the decision that she was going to get Billy. And so we made the deal, and the lady took payments, and my daughter could just pay $100 a month and till he was paid off. And we didn't take him home that day, because we had to go. We didn't want to be that presumptuous that we were going to just find a horse, so we didn't bring a trailer with us. So we made the plans to come back probably the next weekend. And Billy had never been in a horse trailer, and I'm sure that the one lady that handles the horses worked with him a little bit, but he just went right in. There was no hesitation. We had an older stock trailer at the time, and which means it only had a divider between the front and the back. And he went in, and we tied him, and we get all done, and we're ready to leave, and we're all hungry. And so there was a Dairy Queen in the little town, so we decided to go there and just parked and checked on him, and then went inside. And when we came out, this is the story of Billy. There was a light inside the trailer at the front, and he had dismantled it, like took it off. All that was hanging there were the wires. And that's Billy. He's very curious, very lippy. He likes to undo things. He's undone my zipper before. And he's just, I mean, I think some people would find that annoying, but I kind of find it endearing because he's just is always thinking, and always, he's very affectionate. And I fell in love with him, and my daughter ended up not going to that college. She did break Billy to ride when he was 4. It might have been between the 3 and the 4-year-old year, and not like no hard riding. She just, broke him, so he would walk, trot, and lope in like say the round pen, and he was very willing. Of course, I forgot the part where we had to get him gelded, because he was definitely a stallion feeling his hormones, so we couldn't keep him with the other horses for a while. Anyway, we got that done, and so then he was a very nice gelding, and she broke him to ride. She just spent 30 days, and he was pretty easy to get going, and she did some more with him. And but it's kind of interesting because in a way, I guess you could say she lost interest. She wanted a specific kind of a Western horse, and I guess she didn't think he was going to be that, which he totally is. But anyway, I think it's probably more because he was supposed to be mine. And she did go to college. That might have been part of it too, actually. She went to college. She went to a community college, but she had to move to another town, so she wasn't here. And there, that's starting to come out. One of those I had bought, and I had my quarter horse gelding, and I don't know why. It's like sometimes you think, well, they're just not going to do what I want them to do. But he was my steady Eddie, and he was trustworthy, and I was never afraid of him. From the time I had my brother-in-law start him, I felt safe on him. It didn't really even matter. He didn't really buck or do anything silly, but I never felt afraid. And well, anyway, I wanted this horse that I was told about. Oh my gosh, she's really talented, and she's really nicely built. She's a quarter horse mare, and I went to look at her. So part of my journey too is to listen to my gut. Sometimes I still struggle with it a little bit, but listening to my own intuition when it comes to especially my horses, that if something's telling me this isn't quite right, then I need to like listen to it. Let's pause and let's just look at this. Well, anyway, we went to look at her and I knew she'd been started, she was 6 or 7, and she hadn't been ridden for 3 years. So horses that are started and then not really had anything done with them sometimes can kind of develop a poor work ethic. Well, she definitely had. And my friend's daughter went with us, who was the one that went with us. She was the one that started her. And so she rode her, and I, to back up a little bit, the intuition part. We brought her out, they brought her out, and they started brushing her, and oh, she loved that. She was just like, yes, I like being brushed. Well, then they went to throw the saddle on her, and her whole demeanor changed. Her head came up, her eyes got kind of stony, and her ears just not flat back like I'm angry, but just, and my gut just told me then, oh, this is probably not a good fit. I just felt like there was something there. But I didn't listen to it. I didn't, because I thought, well, I can work through whatever it is. And so I bought her. Bought a nice horse trailer too that my husband helped me buy, and we didn't have a nice horse trailer, so that was getting rid of the stock trailer and getting that nice 3-horse trailer. Nothing like super fancy or expensive, but it was way better than what I had. Well, anyway, so I bring her home, and she's really sweet, like on the ground, super sweet. I took her to the round pen. I'd saddled her, and we were just, walking, trotting. And it was when I asked her to turn. I swear this is when it'll often happen. Yes, I know. I asked her to turn, and she just started bucking. Head down between her knees, bucking with the saddle on. And I was like, oh no, I knew that was there. Well, other times, I mean, I rode her that day. I did. I felt like there's just like you can feel it sometimes. She would get like sticky, and I felt like I didn't push her too hard, more than walking, and just long story short, because I asked my friend to help me with her, because she's the one that helped me find her. And it was her daughter that started her. And I said, because she was training horses at the time. And I said, would you like to help me with this? Because she's just feels like there's something, like she might come up in a rear or something. I gotta grab a brush. And so she was willing to help me. And her, I was right. She wanted, oh, I'm sorry. She was wanting to rear. And my friend kept working with her, and, eventually I started riding her. I still never felt comfortable on her. Just felt like there was a buck in there, a big one, and I didn't really want to get hurt. There's something that happens as you get older, at least for most people, they start having more fear, and I definitely had that, and I probably could sense it in me. Horses are super sensitive and can, they sense when somebody is not confident. They like a leader. They like a strong leader. Well, I went through the whole thing, and, I didn't even want to ride her. I was regretting buying her. I didn't pay a lot of money for her, because horses weren't as expensive then. Really expensive now. And the other thing about her was she was terrified of plastic. Plastic bottles, sacks. I knew if a sack ever floated, she would just dump me and be gone. So I tried to kind of break her of that, and it never worked. She never got used to it. I couldn't desensitize her to it. Maybe it was just me not having the skills. I admit, when I don't know how to fix something. One day, there was a day that I gotta put some more stuff in here, that I didn't ride her. And we were riding at the bottom of the corral, and here's Dandy, my old quarter horse gelding, standing at the corral like, why don't you take me? And then when I got back up here, and I had so a thing with Penny, she had just kind of got stuck, and I swear there's a feeling, you just know. And I was afraid to push her because I didn't really want to get dumped. And we come up the driveway, and then here's Dandy standing there, and I'm like, why don't I just want to ride you. You're comfortable and safe. And well, anyway, so I think it was that day then that my daughter said, why don't you ride Billy? Now, Billy hadn't been ridden in probably 6 months, right? Because my daughter was at school. And so I was like, okay. So we saddled him up, probably the next time we went to ride, and took him down to where I could work him. And it's funny because I lunged him, and that's all fine. I'm sorry, I know you don't like that. I apologize. He says, I got sensitive skin, Mom. Please don't brush it too hard if it's that kind of a brush. Hey, you're gonna get hay all over me. Anyway, I lunged him. He was a dream. No, stay here. You just untied yourself because I didn't have him tied solid. Just willing and happy, just a happy horse. Nothing really phases him, and I'm getting ready to get on him, and he's still very youngster, probably 4. I think he was 4 at that time. And he turns around and grabs a hold of the stirrup, which horses will do sometimes when they're real playful and curious, and he's got his mouth caught, and he starts, and if you know anything about horses, they're claustrophobic, so if they get caught, sometimes they panic. And he's like, my mouth is stuck, I'm stuck. And I just said, ho, you're okay. And he let me take that off. And I was like, that's amazing. And then he started to do it again. And I was like, no, you can't do that. Anyway, I rode him. I even loped him that day. And mind you, this was in an open place where there's gravel, and he was such a good boy, and I fell in love. I mean, I already loved him. Yes, I did. I loved you. Look at what you did to yourself. You got hay all over you. Yeah. And so I started riding him. I started going, we would go to some arenas, and I would ride him, and I just loved him. He was so amazing, and I felt safe on him. That's the thing. I didn't feel like there was any buck, any rear, anything in there that I had to be afraid of. And so I made a deal with my daughter because she paid for him. I said, okay, we'll sell the other horse. We'll sell, we had a couple of horses, some ponies and stuff that we weren't using. And I don't really like to sell horses, but we did. And to good homes, and so I paid her for Billy, all but about $700. I said, okay, you own that much of Billy, which he's worth like a lot of money, at least to me. So yeah, that was quite a long time ago. He is 19 this year. I keep telling him, don't get old, don't get old. I want you to be around for a really long time. Yeah, because he's such a good horse. I have had so many times and instances with him that he's shown me his heart. And that might be a story for another day. But yeah, he's gone through stuff, and I've gone through stuff, and he's been a great horse the whole time, when he could have just been terrible. Because he had pain. I told you about the tooth. He had pain that we didn't understand what was happening for a while. We finally figured it out, not because of lack of vets, because he went like every 6 months, and then we would have some issues. And yeah, he could have been really naughty, bad, and we wouldn't have known why. So we got it. We figured it out. he's better. He's doing great. He's in good shape. He's 19, which is not terribly old for a horse. I want him to live to be like 35 or 40. He's just awesome. He's ready for his fly mask. The flies are getting on him. So I'm going to finish up and get this almost done and put his fly mask and let him go back to his buddies and then go put their fly masks on too. We've reached fly season, and Boone the other day had a swollen eye because I hadn't gotten the fly mask cleaned up. They got some mouse stuff on them, so I had to wash them. And poor guy, he often gets it every summer. It's usually when it starts getting real dusty, some smoke because we've had fires, and then of course the flies. So we like to take care of our boys. Yeah, you ready for a nap? Anyway, thanks. We'll have more stories soon, hopefully. Thanks for listening.